alive once again. Mostly anyway. Hope everybody had a good week. I can't stop laughing for some reason. Anyway, let's say hi to everybody. Let's see here. Who the hell is everybody? Alright. Looks like Hot Dog Pilot Andy got the cookie. Congrats, Andy. And welcome aboard the Shortline. Good to see you here. Truck driver. He was the second one here. You get the half cookie, Chuck. Congrats on that. And good to see you here. Now we got GRE 2057. Jesse. Jesse, good to see you here. I'm going to be showing your custom telephone poles later on. I haven't forgotten. I finally got them in on the system. Anyway, good to see you here. Tom Grassy, good to see you, Tom. Hope you're doing well. Colorado Spikeman 94. Thomas. At least you kept the Spikeman. We're going to be showing one of your videos too. Let's see who else we got here. Good to see you here. Who else? We got Russ, Rockano Railroad. Hey Russ, good to see you, man. And who else we got here? We got DWM Trains, Dave. Hey Dave, good to see you here, man. And Curly Express. Dwight, always good to see you here. And who else do we got? Damn, blind as a bat today for some reason. Joe Rader, Black Rock Central Railroad. Hey Joe, good to see you here. And I believe that's everybody. If I miss somebody, well, you're just going to have to hunt me down and smack me in the back of the head. To sound okay, I hope. I've got everything cranked up, so we should be doing good here. Anyway, glad to see everybody here tonight. We got a lot of stuff to talk about and show. As you all know, I went to the Villages train show last week with Tom Kvichak and his wife Debbie. So me and my Debbie went with him and his Debbie. Had the two Debbies there, you know. And I spent a bucket load of money, but not really. But I still spent quite a bit. Thanks, Andy. 5x5, cool. Hey, Ray Central, Raymond, how you doing? Good to see you here. And I don't know if my eyesight's changing or the glasses are now actually too strong. I'm not sure what the hell's going on here. Jim, well, that's what I'm going to be showing here in a little while. Not quite yet. I want to make sure everybody's here so I don't have to repeat myself. But I got a lot of stuff, and after the train show, we stopped at Hobby Lobby up there. I don't remember exactly where we were at, but it was somewhere up North Florida or North Central Florida. And I bought some stuff from Hobby Lobby as well. Then we went to a thrift store further south, and I got one thing from the thrift store, which I actually needed. So it was a good day all the ways around. Well, I'll tell you what, though, it kicked my ass. I left the house, well, me and Debbie left the house at 6 o'clock in the morning. We arrived at Tom Kvichak's at 6:30. Then we hit the road. And we did stop for breakfast at Chick-fil-A, which was cool. And it's like a 2.5 hour drive to get to the Villages. So we finally got there. It was around 10:30. Spent most of the day up there. I don't remember. I think we left like, well, maybe 1 o'clock. I'm not sure. But then, like I said, we went to Hobby Lobby, stopped there for a bit, stopped at the thrift store. By the time we got home, I think it was pushing close to 5, 6 o'clock. I don't remember. I was exhausted. I think all of us were, to be honest with you. So as soon as we got in the car, got back here, that was it. I hit the bed, slept for 3 hours straight. Then woke up, I think it was like 9 o'clock at night. And, it was fine after that. But man, I tell you what, I am definitely getting old. Hey, Signal Cabin, how you doing, Signal? Good to see you here. The trade show is taking place in Costa Mesa, California this weekend. I will be there this Saturday. Oh, cool, Ray. Well, I hope you get a lot of good stuff, man. I was really surprised when we got there. The Villages is kind of a, upper middle class area. I mean, they're nice places. Nice place, really. I wouldn't want to live there because, it's HOA, and I don't do HOAs. But otherwise, it's a really nice place, and I thought, surely if you have an upscale area, you're going to see upscale prices. When we got in there, that place was packed, too. There must have been 1,000 people in there, maybe more. It was a big room, though. I didn't take any pictures of it. You'd have to go back and see Tom's Trains and Things. He took a video of both the trade show and the train layouts that were in there, because they had two rooms, one for the trade show itself, the vendors, and then the other room was for layouts that were running their trains. Really nice setup. But I was really surprised how inexpensive everything was. I mean, there was a few things that I thought were way over the top. One guy had it was German made. I don't know if it was I can't even think of the name of that, but it was from Germany. It was a steam engine with a tender, a small one, like maybe an 062 or something. He wanted $1,200 for it. And it wasn't DCC with salary, he just DC'd. I'm thinking, that ain't never going to happen. But that was one of the few things I saw that were really overpriced. Most of the stuff was really underpriced. So I said, I got a lot of good stuff, which I'll be showing here in a little bit. Now, I'm HO scale, and my wife does O scale, but she didn't really have a big area for a layout, so she didn't really want anything as far as train cars go, rolling stock. Which is a shame because they had all the O scale rolling stock. I think the cheapest thing I saw was a boxcar for $15. Damn nice one, too. And they had, locomotives and everything. Relatively inexpensive. Some were, $50 to $75 for a loco. Ain't bad. So, if you were in O scale, they had a lot of O scale stuff there. They had quite a bit of HO and some N. I think there was some G scale too. I don't remember. I don't really pay attention to anything I'm not, interested in. But, hey, the Gigliottis. Hey, Ray, how's it going? Good to see you here. I was really amazed, though, at how cheap everything was. And I figured that because, regardless of what Trump says, the economy really is in a world of shit. And nobody has any money, so I think they lowered prices on a lot of things, figuring they could move it out faster if they just lowered the prices on it. And I tell you, Tom's Trains and Things, he got a lot of good deals. Well, not a lot, but he bought a few things that were really, really a hell of a value. He didn't pay hardly anything for them. So he came out good, too. Like I said, I had $300 to blow, and, well, I was pretty sure I was going to blow to $200, but I actually only blew, I think, about $155. Which isn't bad, because like I said, I bought a lot of stuff. So I think I did pretty good. HOA is an export from the now long gone Soviet Union. It seems like it, because, they got we used to call them condo Nazis. Because, the condos, they had their own association, or basically an HOA. And there was always somebody who was in charge that just thought they were king or something, And I've had words with a few HOA higher-ups over the years, because I just don't like that shit. If I own something, I'll do what the fuck I want with it. I don't give a fuck whether you like it or not. That's why we said I would never live in an HOA. I know some of you guys do, and that's fine, but I don't know how you do it, And I mean, we had plenty of them down in Naples, and they were ridiculous about it. I mean, it was some of the high rises, they were under, well, I guess you call it HOA or condo association, same thing. and they would tell you what colors you could use inside your apartment. It's like, well, you ain't living in there. Fuck you. I'll paint what I want. These weren't rentals. People own them. You pay, $750,000 for a 2-2, on the 6th floor or whatever. And they're going to tell you what colors you can use to paint inside? I don't fucking think so. And then there was one place that was so ridiculous. It was a big handbook, and I was painting the place at the time, many years ago. And I'm looking through the handbook, and I'm thinking, holy shit. They had suggested, well, everyone where it suggested you didn't have a choice. It was 2 or 3 auto mechanics you could deal with for repairing your vehicle. So you couldn't just take it to your favorite mechanic down the street. Unless they were approved by the HOA, you couldn't go there. I'm thinking, who the fuck do these people think they are, I mean, if I had $1 million or something close to that and bought an apartment, somebody's going to have some problems the first time they tell me what the hell I'm going to do. I'd shove them out the fucking window on the 10th floor, Here, do this. I'll tell you, that's crazy. That's true, Russ. They really do. HOAs usually have power-hungry idiots. And they do. I was renting in an apartment complex, me and my girlfriend at the time. It's a 2-story deal. We were on the bottom floor. And it was easier for me to move in with her than, have her move in because I had a rather small rental, I was renting. So I said, I'll move in with you and I'll share the rent with you, Well, first of all, the rent was a little more expensive than it should have been. And then they had all these stupid rules. Now, we had a back screened-in lanai. It was tinted screen, so you couldn't see in it unless you stuck your face in it, But they had a rule. The only thing you put in the lanai was a small table and 4 chairs and 2 potted plants, and that was it. Now, this lanai was huge, It was like 20 by 15, somewhere around. I mean, it was a big, wide thing. You could throw a party in there, no problem, but you weren't allowed to. So, I'm out there drinking my I don't drink coffee. I'm drinking my tea one morning looking at the newspaper, Got a robe on, not naked. Although I kind of wish I was now, but I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I see a head and a pair of eyes peeking through the screen. Hey, excuse me, are you lost? No, sir, I'm checking to make sure you're in compliance. With what? Well, sir, we have rules on what you can put in your lanai. I go, well, as far as I know, we haven't broken the rules. However, you peeking in here, you look like a peeping Tom, and under Florida law, I could blow your fucking head off for that. And yes, I do own a gun. Don't let me catch you doing that shit again. The last thing you'll see is the flash of light and a bang. You can't threaten me. I said, sir, I'm not threatening you. I am telling you, I catch you peeking in my lanai again. You're not going to live to tell the tale. Now, you've been warned. Now get the fuck off. Basically, it's my property. He was all pissed off. Oh, I'm going to talk to the HOA. You talk to whoever you want about it. I'll tell them the same thing, I never had a problem with that again after I guess I got the point across. But they had all these stupid rules. They complained about my car. I had my, what the hell was I driving at the time? Oh, my Firebird. It wasn't crazy loud, but a little elevated loudness in my exhaust, But I tend to idle out of the place in the morning to go to work, so I wouldn't wake anybody up. Well, they didn't like the idea. I guess I had a race car, so it's like, you got to get rid of that car, put some mufflers on it. So look, that car is compliance with the law, and that's all I need to do, so go fuck yourself. Then I had my 2-year-old son. I had to babysit him for, I think, 3 days, because his mother was going somewhere, and she couldn't take him with. Yeah, no problem, I'll do it. Well, I found out he could only stay there for 2 days, and if I kept there, I'd get a $50 fine for every day he stayed afterwards. He's 2 years old. It's not like I'm moving him in. I'm watching him for a couple of 3 days. Doesn't matter. I said, well, Here's your 50 fucking dollars. Now go fuck off, you know. And these people are idiots, you know. That's that right. HOA inspectors will always find ways to go after you and will I know they are because they're assholes. You know, the funny thing was, they pissed me off so much that the elections came up there and I got on the board. And man, did they regret that. And I told them they would. Now we had a rule you couldn't have any pets. My girlfriend's daughters, which they were kind of, not real young, but you know, preteen. And they couldn't even have a goldfish in the fucking bowl because no pets were allowed in the place. So I thought, well, that's bullshit. And I said, we'll see what happens when I get on the board. Well, when I got on the board, found out that a few of the peoples that were already on the board had pets. They had birds, they had fish. No, you can't have that shit. $50 fine for each one. Man, were they pissed? I says, you know, I can play this fucking game too. You know, you be a dick to me, I'll be a bigger dick to you. If you'd have just minded your own fucking business and let people be, we wouldn't have this problem. So I couldn't wait to get... I got out of there shortly after that. I said, fuck this. We rented a house that wasn't an HOA. And we were much happier. Unconstitutional. It probably is unconstitutional. I don't know. Spikeman was so, Jim, did you ride to Durango on Silverton Road? No. I'm nowhere near where that is. I haven't been... The only last time I was on a train, believe it or not, well, 2 trains really. I took the Amtrak up to New Jersey about 5 years before I had my stroke. And the second time I was after the stroke, I got on the dinner train in Fort Myers, which is it's like a short line ride. It's like a 3 or 4 hour ride. They take you and they serve dinner, and it's a murder mystery train, so you get a chance to solve the murder mystery too. It's fun. But that's the only 2 times I've really been on a train, because there's really nothing around here anymore. And I don't plan on going like out west anytime soon, if ever. Let's see, they can take their rules, shove them up their asses. Yeah. Yes, they can. The HOAs. That's just the way it is, though. You know, like I said, I'm too independent to play that shit. When I worked at the golf course in Estero, that was all HOA too, basically. And they had the most ridiculous fucking rules. There was a guy, he wasn't a biker, but he rode a Harley. He was elderly, well, not really elderly, but an older man. Like I guess in his 40s or 50s. Lived by himself, nice guy, very clean, quiet, you know. He bought a house out there. And he, like I said, he had his Harley. Well, Christmas was coming up, and he parked his Harley out in the front yard and put a blow-up Santa on it and lit it up. He got busted for it. Hit him up with a $50 fine for violating HOA rules about unsanctioned decorations. He says, is that so? He says, yeah. So he paid the money. Next week he put his house up for sale and got the fuck out of there. You know. And I even asked, now where is it? I was on a golf course. Of course, most people there played golf, obviously. Well, they had a rule, too. You couldn't leave your golf shoes out on the front porch, you know, out in the open. You had to bring them to the house and hide them, you know. So there was one guy, he got popped for a $50 fine for having his golf shoes at the front steps because, you know, I guess they had mud on them. He didn't want to track up the house. So, I mean, it's like right after he did it, they were right there. It's like they're looking for this shit. He put up his house a few weeks later and got the fuck out of there. And you can't blame these people, you know. Now, they're talking here in Florida. They want to do away with the HOAs. There's talk that they're going to try and make them illegal. I hope they do. Because, like you said, all they are is a bunch of control freaks that think they own everybody that's within their distance, and, you know, they really don't. I mean, the idea at first was a good idea. We're basically keeping people, you know, because like I lived in Naples Park down there. You know, it wasn't an HOA, but anybody pretty much did what they wanted. And some people got a little carried away, you know. We had one guy, he owned a styling salon. He was down on the other end of Naples Park. He painted his house in like 14 different fucking colors. Purple, pink, yellow. It looked weird. He had all these weird statues out in the front yard. Unicorns, goblins. The guy was a whack job, you know. And they couldn't do anything about it because there's no HOA. And I said, well, thank God I didn't live next to him. That's all I could say. But realistically, that was his right to do that. You know, now, HOAs were supposed to prevent that from happening. I don't necessarily agree with it. I said, it's your property. You do what the fuck you want on it, you know. I think it was a little over the top, to be honest with you. But that's the homeowner's right, you know. So that's the difference between HOA and non-HOA. HOAs, if they decide to change the design of mailboxes, you have to rip yours out and put in their new design one. Oh, fuck you. I'll choose my own damn mailbox, you know. That's some messed up shit. HOA enforcers were bullied and pushed around as kids. That's where, yeah, that's probably true, Ray. I wouldn't doubt it. Anyway, let's get back into the trains. Let's see here. Before I do my haul, I'm going to show you a Spike video from Thomas the Spike Man. It's 1 minute long. It's interesting because it's different. It's from 1888, so that's like almost 200 years old, or something along those lines. I'd never seen one like it before in my life. I thought it was cool and I thought it's worthy of my show. So here we go. Check it out. That was definitely different. I'm trying to think of what it resembles. To me, it looked kind of like a horse head of sorts. Apparently, they just needed something to hold the track down. That's what they came up with. Good advice for you, Spike Man. You should probably use some audio in that. You're not necessarily with music or anything, which is good for background. But you should explain what it is and why it is, maybe, if you know. All I can tell you is it's from 1888. But you would probably get more views on it if you put a little explanation behind it. So keep that in mind. Anyway, it was fun to watch. So, all right. Well, let's do this. This is new too. I just came up with this yesterday. And I just noticed that we're in the red again, which is bullshit. I guess Comcast doesn't want my business anymore. I don't know. I'm really getting ready to swap over to Starlink. Because this is ridiculous. Got drop frames, we're in the red. And there's no reason for it. That's my show is very jerky. Sorry about that, guys. You know, beyond my control. Alright, we're back in the green. I don't know for how long, but hopefully we'll stay there for a while. Oh, back in the red again. What the fuck is going on with this shit? It's aggravating as all hell. Anyway, let's show you what I got. Now, I decided to change it instead of a haul. Went with booty because everybody uses haul for their train show goodies. I'm trying to be different here, so give me a break, right? You're kind of... Yeah, I know. It's just... It's the internet. It's fucked up. I don't know what the hell's going on with this bullshit. I think maybe I better seriously... I got a discount. I don't know if it's still good or not for Starlink. I might go ahead and do it. I don't know, because this is bullshit. Alright, well anyway, let's see what I got here. I looked at... They had a lot of blue box stuff, you know, Athearn. But this woman and her young kid, well, he wasn't young, he was probably a teenager. I swear they were buying up everything. It was crazy. So I did manage to find two that were still in the box. I got this here. And this is a reefer. And it's Great Northern 60 or 40 foot grain, oh no, it's not a reefer, grain loading boxcar. It was $7. I got it for $5. So I figured I came out pretty good on that one. I'm going to put this stuff way over here, so I don't have to look at it too much here. The other blue box I got was this one here. This is the only tanker I bought. This is a 3-dome tanker. I thought it was really nice. It's an Athearn blue box as well. It's undecorated 3-dome tank car kit. I got it for $4. Like I said, I thought I got some pretty good deals on most of this stuff. And the rest of the stuff was just basically loose. I got one deal where it was 4 for $10. One was 3 for $10, and then a couple of them were like $2 or $3 each. So I'm going to show you what all I got. This one here, the New Haven. Very nice. And this Grand Trunk Railroad with opening doors. Now this one already had, no, this one's got metal wheels, I think. No, this one doesn't. I'm going to change out the wheels and the couplers on it. And some of these already have Katy couplers and metal wheels, which will save me having to swap them out. I got this one here. I think I only paid $2 for this one. This is Dubuque, Iowa. That's pretty cool. Put these three up here. Oh. I got this one here. Also has opening doors. And this is a Frisco, another carload of Norge Frosty Flame gas refrigerators. I thought it was pretty cool. And this one here, no couplers on it. And plastic wheels. I'll have to change the wheels on the couplers. This is Gerber's strained vegetables. That sounds disgusting, doesn't it? And then I got this one I thought was really cool. Harley Davidson. Also has opening doors on it. And they put some wheel weights in it too. It's pretty heavy. That's good. I'll also have to check the weights on all these. Put these up. So much to show here. I got this one here. This is a Triangle Pacific. I'll have to change wheels and couplers on that one as well. This one here is Morel's. This one here is Union Pacific. Hey, we can handle it, right? See, all this stuff's been sitting on my desk since last weekend. Taking up a lot of space, but you know. This one here is North Stratford Railroad. Live free or die. Thought that was pretty cool. This one has metal wheels and Katy couplers on it. And that was, I think I gave $3 for that one. Same with this one here. This is the same deal. So it's EJ&E Chicago outer belt. It's a little different. Also has opening door. A lot of these have opening doors, which is cool. Then I got this one here. Dairyman's League. I thought those were cool. You know, that's what I was looking for, stuff that, you know, might have been a little unusual, actually. They had some really cool ones, but they were a little more expensive, and I was trying to get the most for my money. Also got these here. These were $3 each. The Maintenance of Way Union Pacific gondolas. I got a pair of them. Put these over here. And then the best thing, actually the first thing I bought there, was a SW 1500 switcher. It's DC. He wanted 35 for it, or I should say she did, and I offered her 30 and she took it, and it runs great. Now I'm going to convert it to DCC. I don't think I'm going to put sound on it, but it'll definitely be DCC. I already took it apart and looked at it and said, alright, this will be an easy swap. Also bought Katy 232 plastic draft gearboxes and lids, because I know some of these things are going to have to be converted over. It was $3 for this, which wasn't bad. And what else did I get here? I got this here. And I already have one of these. And I bought mine online about 3 or 4 years ago. I paid $40 for it. I got this one for $5. It's a Florida Highway Patrol, and this one has an opening hood. The one I bought didn't, and I paid $40 for it. So I said, it would be cool to have two of them on the layout, so. And they're kind of hard to find, so I went ahead, jumped on it, and bought it. And I believe that was everything I bought from the train show. They said altogether was 16 pieces of rolling stock, 1 locomotive, the car, and the draft gearboxes. I believe that was everything I bought there, right? It was, okay. So from there, we went to Hobby Lobby. Hey, Derek, how's it going? Good to see you here, man. Oh, thanks, Joe. I appreciate it. Train show treasure, you betcha. So anyway, Hobby Lobby, I've been wanting to get a cordless airbrush. And I bought this one. It was $43.99. It's cordless, rechargeable. And it will help me with a lot of... I haven't used it yet, but I'm going to be using it probably starting tomorrow. Because I built some of the bridges for the U.S. Sugar Shortline. And I want to weather them. I've already painted the base coats on them. I can weather them in place with the airbrush. We'll see how that goes. I'll document it. I also bought... I thought this was black. Now you look at it. Well, it kind of looks a little gray here, but In the store it looked black, and I thought it was black. It was $5.99, which is damn cheap for spray paint. It was on a clearance. Works great, but it's not really black. It's like a very dark gray. That's what I painted the bridges with, so it worked out pretty well. I really was hoping for black, but that's good enough. And for my new paint scheme, I got this here. This was actually cheap too. It was $8.29. Or like on eBay and Amazon, they're $11.99 plus shipping. Well, I don't think there's any shipping on Amazon because I'm a Prime member, but on eBay it's $11.99. They want another $6 to ship it for this little ass fucking can. So I saw this as, I'm going to buy it, and if it works out well for me, which I'm sure it will, I'll mail order more of them from Hobby Lobby, which you can do. So this is going to be the color, one color, the new paint scheme, and it's called Icy Blue Lacquer. It's going to look good. That's what I plan on doing. I'm going to use this one as a guinea pig. I'm going to paint the main body, the icy blue, and the top in silver. I'll renumber it and rename it, of course. And we'll see how that looks. I'll show it to you when it's done. And if it looks the way I think it will, I'll be doing some of my rolling stock, or some of my locomotives and that, probably even a few pieces of rolling stock. We'll see how it goes. Let's see, I also bought some glue. This was $5.99. Now, Walmart has the same thing for $7.99. Tractor Supply has it for $8.99. So I figured $5.99, I'm just going to go ahead and jump on it and buy one, because I know I'll need it at some point. I think that was everything I got from Hobby Lobby. So from there, Dwight, you still awake? I hope you're still awake, Dwight. Yeah, thanks, Chuck. Like I said, I didn't go crazy. And there was a lot more that I could have bought, but I didn't really need the stuff. So, if I was beginning my layout, I probably would have cleaned the place out. They had that many good deals in there. They had steamers. They were starting at $15. And I think most of them, aside from that $1,200 one, I think that was a Mark one. That was what I was thinking. It could have been a Mark one. I don't know. It's from Germany. But I mean, the thing wasn't even that big. It was HO scale, but it was a short one. And I'm thinking, ain't no fucking way anybody can give you $1,200 for that. As far as I know, he didn't sell it. But they had a lot of stuff there at reasonable prices. But I didn't need a lot of things, and I won't buy shit just because it's cheap. I buy stuff because I want or need it. So that's what I did. So anyway, we went to a thrift store, which was about another, I think, 40 or 50 miles south of there. And the only thing I found, they had a lot of crap in there too, but that's what it was. A lot of it was crap. But I saw this for $5. It's a 2-outlet wireless remote control, and it works fine because I need it for when I'm doing my Wise Guy videos to get brighter light. I could just turn it on. Sometimes. There we go. And it kicks on both lights automatically, so I don't have to get up and plug them in. Then I can just turn them right off. So for $5 you couldn't go wrong. It's $4.99 to be exact. That was a good deal. And from there we came home. Like I said, man, was I wiped out, man. Andy says sub count is up to 489 thanks to Dwight. Was that yours, Andy? Yeah, good. Congrats, man. I don't know what the hell. I think mine's still like 413 or 513 maybe. Last I looked, I think it was 513. I don't even care anymore, The guys that like watching me continue to watch me no matter how many subs I got, so. I still haven't got enough watch hours to actually become monetized, so I just don't care, screw it. I got the 500 that I wanted, and I'm happy with that. So anyway, that's what I got. That was the train show booty. I was looking for another word other than haul, and it must have been 100 different words, but most of them had to do with, like, you know, moving shit. I go, no, I don't want to move stuff. You know, I remember the pirate phrase, booty. Yeah, that'll work. So that's going to be my word from here on in. And hopefully, I don't know when I'll go to the next show. Probably later on in the year, and it'll probably something close by. Because I've got other things I need to spend my money on. Some of it's train related, some of it not, but so I can't afford to go to every train show like Tom can. But I thought I did pretty good, so I'm happy. And since then I've gotten a few things done in here. Oh, I finally got the chicken thing done. Remember I told you I had it working well. That was short-lived. The DF player that I had, I don't know if I over voltage it or what. I mean, I was running at like 5.1 volts. And the maximum you could put in that is 5. So I'm thinking, well, shit, that ain't going to work. So I bought these. These are basically a different version of the DF player. They were $7.99 each. I bought 2 of them. They really packed the shit out of these things, I'll tell you what. Let me take it out of this package because you can't even see what the hell it is. What the hell was that? They put it in foil and everything. Yeah. We don't need that foil. Anyway, this is it. It's relatively small. It fits. If you caddy corner it in a box car, it fits perfectly. There's plenty of room to spare. You run up to 5 volts into it. You can either use a mini USB plug, or there's got two solder joints where you use, which is what I used. And then they got these here for the speaker. Bring that in a little closer. You know what? Here, I'll do this a simple way. I also added an overhead cam. There we go. So here we go. There's a better view of it, maybe. That's a little blurry. I probably have to clean the lens. And then it's got 4 buttons on there, so it automatically repeats by default. But you can also raise and lower the sound level. And you can also switch different tracks. Go forward or back. I mean, it's pretty slick. It also has an earphone jack on it, too. And that's a little blurry there, so I don't know why it's so damn blurry. That thing's got a light on it, too. I forgot about that. That's if it even works. Yeah, it does. Okay. I'm going to have to fool around with the focus on that. Well, anyway, for $7 you couldn't go wrong. I said I bought 2 of them. I put one in the chicken car, and it works flawlessly. It has a keep alive in it. Power's off. And it still clocks. I mean, the longer you run it, it runs about 4 seconds with the keep alive on there. So I thought it worked pretty good. So we got that settled too. Put this back where it was. Alright. And you see the printer running behind me. I'm printing a bridge column. That'll be the last one for the second bridge. Then I've got to do measurements for the third bridge, which I've got them. The glue is drying on them now. Tomorrow I'll paint them up with this dark gray. and figure out how tall the columns need to be and install that, and then I'll probably see about putting in the track. Like I said, I have everything I need for it, so I'll jump on it. Sounds like my wife. Now that's funny. I'm going to put that one up there. And how many watch hours do I need? About 300. And it's a pain in the ass because, you know, they want, I think it's 300 or 600 watch hours, I think. Andy says you got 4,000 watch hours plus 1,000 subs. That's a good deal, man. You're doing much better than I am. But, well, they did it because it used to be you had to have 1,000 subs to get monetized to begin with. They lowered it to 500. They also knocked your watch hours down. I think it's 600 for is the lowest you got to have for 500 subs. And I think for 1,000 subs is double. I think it's 1,000. But, and of course shorts, you need 1 million shorts to get monetized. 1 million watch hours on it, rather. It's like, that's crazy. So, scratching and clucking. Yeah, so I'm kicking around building a second one as well. As I said, I've got the second sound card. I still have the first sound card that I bought. That was too big to put in the train cars. And I'm going to use that for a voiceover on the station platforms. You know, like directions like, you know, wait for the train to come to a complete stop and exit doors when they open, like you wouldn't fucking know. But that's how stupid they are in real life, so I figure why not, you know. And he says, oh, now I stand a chance, but it's not why I do it. Like I said, for me, you're not going to make any real money. I mean, if you have, you know, 50,000 subs and a shitload of watch hours, you might make a few bucks, but YouTube's really screwing people out of their money. It's just the way it is. I said, I'm monetized on Rumble with my Wise Guy videos. I've only made something like $24 so far, or $16, I don't remember. But I was talking to Tom, and he says, I think you had to get $50 before you can cash out on it. So I got another fucking year to go before I get $50. But at least it's something, you know. Jim, 500 subs, you need 3,000 watch hours. 1,000, okay. Shorts, 1 million views. Yeah, I know I got the numbers wrong, but like I said, I think I've got 2,600 watch hours. Last I looked, anyway. So I was still falling a little short, and I said I don't really care. But the reality is I ain't gonna make a shit for money anyway, you know. I mean, I'll take what I get, but, and I think you got to have what, a minimum of $20 before you can even withdraw it from YouTube. Maybe more now. Hell, I don't know. It's not really a lot, Andy, but it's, you know. And, you know, the problem is everybody's shooting for it, and there's a lot of competition out there, and of course that makes it tough too, you know. And let's face it, my show, at least mine anyway, is kind of a niche show, you know. I mean, not everybody's going to tune in and watch it because, you know, some may not find it interesting, and I don't blame them. And some of you guys really enjoy what we talk about here. Not everybody does, so, you know. It is what it is. I don't care, like I said, you know. I'm happy to have a show, and even if I only have a handful of people watching every night or every weekend, that's fine, you know. I don't care. And the more the merrier, but, yeah, there you go, Ray. The love of money is the root of all evil. It's true, it is. So, I'm not doing this for the money, obviously. If I was, I'm not doing a very good job. You know, it is what it is, but I don't know. So anyway, other than that, I'm still working on my 148. I had to make a new bell for it because I had to take the other one off to paint the front of it. I used the airbrush to paint the silver on the front of the boiler. I also highlighted the white on the lines. I think I've done, let me turn the lights on. You can't hardly see this. That didn't really help any, did it? But I also painted the white on the wheels, on the pilot wheels anyway, and on the trailing wheels. I still got to do the drive wheels. That's going to be a little more difficult, but I will get them done. But it's coming along, so I'm going to put a few more coats on. I'm going to put a few coats of gold on the bell. Like I said, I took the other bell off to mask everything. Oop, I almost did it again. And I went to pick the thing up, forgot. I just had the bell laying in place and forgot about it. Picked it up and the bell flew and I still haven't found it. I said, alright, fine, I'll just print another one. But it is coming along pretty good. I put the latest chassis under it, which runs better. There's no skipping or any other problems with it. I am going to convert that to DCC and sound at some point. Also put the white stripe on the that goes around on the bottom of both sides of the tender. If you're wondering how I did such a good job, I used the paint pen. I bought this set probably 5 years ago. Never even opened the box. It's got white, red, blue, green, and black, and yellow. They're all still good. You know, you shake it up real good, and they work real well on that. Now I also have, I can't get to them right now, but I showed you it on my mail call. I bought decals for the 148 and the tender. Just the numbers, but we'll get the numbers in place here probably sometime this week as well. Walk around barefoot and you'll find the bell. You're probably right, Derek. I don't know. It might have went underneath the, because there's a little bit of a gap underneath the baseboard. It was small enough it could have went under there. I'll never find it, you know. And that's the only thing. I put tile on the floor so I wouldn't move shit in the carpet because I was originally going to carpet it. And so now that'd be stupid. Everything would be lost if it ever fell. Well, it's not much better with the damn tile. And the problem is my bench, I think, well, the bench itself is level, but this cover that I've got, which you can see here, this cover here, it slopes a little bit. I don't know why. It doesn't lay flat. Maybe I have to buy a new one. I don't know. I've had this one for a couple years now. That was from Amazon. It's a big one. It's 3 foot by almost 30 inches, something like that. It's nice to have. It was inexpensive, but it does slope, so if I drop something, like from this point on, it rolls down here and then hits my leg and goes wherever the hell you'll never see it again. So, if it's magnetic, it's not a problem because I got my little magnet. I go down or wave around on the floor, it'll eventually catch it because I've dropped screws before and oh shit, I got them, so that's cool because you can't see them, they're so small, you know. So, it's just one of those things. Member of the Oya Bastard tribe, okay. That's the thing, I don't walk around barefoot either because of, my diabetes, and I could wind up losing a foot if I were to cut it and not know it, and it gets infected. So I generally always wear shoes. Its arrival merits an evil grin. Okay. So I've been busy doing things. It's not like I'm sitting around with my thumb in my ass like I did all last year. I've been printing parts, building bridges. I expect to have the Shortline probably operational within the month, hopefully. Now I do, like I said, I had Tom Grassi. He purchased a Motorman for me while he was up at Amherst. He's shipping it to me now. I should have it, I think, in about a week. Unfortunately, it only runs one train track at a time. So I'll have to buy a second one for the Shortline because the first one's going to be for the passenger, elevated passenger rail. That's fine. I don't mind. But I want to thank Tom again for picking that up for me. So I already paid him for it. We're good to go. Get the broom out. No, the broom doesn't help. I do have a broom in here, a little push broom, because we always have to clean up and stuff, because there's always scrap filament laying on the floor, you know, extra stuff. And stuff that just gets thrown on the floor because I'm too lazy to put it in the damn trash can. But, so I do have to sweep up every now and then, but even then, Jim, they say the 18th. Not broom equals yard brush. Yeah, I think, on the Motorman. Yeah, I think it is the 18th. Which, like I said, not that far away. The way the mail's been running, though, who the hell knows, you know. They got, well, that's coming UPS. UPS is probably a little better than USPS. But USPS, they got their little thing right there on their tracking. Deliveries may be late due to inclement climate, you know. Whatever happened, you know, neither rain or sleet or snow or whatever will, I don't know how that thing goes anymore, but, you know, none of that shit was supposed to stop the mail. Apparently everything stops the mail now. That's just the way it goes. I'm not worried about it. When I get it, I get it. Like I said, it's probably, even after I don't know when I'll have it, when I'll have time to put it in, you know. And there's a lot of work to do to get that set up, too. So, in the meantime, I'm doing a lot of other things and trying to get done what I can get done. And like I said, I'm thinking probably April to be on the safe side. I'm going to start putting the floor in for the second room outside. Once the floor is done, then I can go ahead and buy the metal shed and install that and cut a hole over here for the doorway, and we'll be good to go. Yeah, I mean, it's not quite that simple. I've got to put electric and all whatever in it, but I can move a lot of this shit that's clogging up this area into the other room. That'll be nice. And I'll install a camera in there, so if I'm doing something like maybe printing stuff, I can fire up that camera and you can see what's going on in that room. So we'll see how that all works out, but I still got to do something with the cameras. I'm still having issues. I think it's the fact that it's possible that my video card in the computer could be on its way out. I bought an 8 gig card. It's a no-name. It's got AMD software in it, or hardware, whatever you call it. But I've had it for going on 2 years now. I got a discount on it, so that always worries me when I buy something like that's discount. I think I only paid like $225 for it, which is damn cheap, you know. I'd like to have a 16 gig card, but they're $800, so that's not going to happen. I don't have that kind of money to throw away on a video card. So I'll probably buy another 8 gigger, and you know, if this one fails, and I'll probably look for a discount one again. But I think that's part of the reason for the camera issues. Probably not the sole reason, but because for a while there I had no problem. I was running 6-7 cameras, and you know, when I hit one, it would come up. Now I've got 2 that simply won't come up at all, and a third one that comes up when it wants to. So, you know. We vinyl laminated planks on our floors and the Swiffer works wonders. Huh. Yeah, well, that's why I put the, the self-adhesive vinyl squares down, and that's fine. I've chipped a couple of them already. I'll have to replace them, and I do have extras. We use the same exact tile in Debbie's hobby room in the house, and there was some left. I think there's a box left over, maybe 2 boxes. So, because there's a couple here, like I said, the chair chipped them or whatever. And I gotta get another chair too. This chair sucks. I want to get another, the hell they called, I can't remember. A good one like I bought in the main house. But they're not cheap. I mean, right now I can get one for around between $600 and $700. It sounds like a lot of money, but the one in the house is still a great chair. I have no problems with it. And I've had that now for going on, I think almost 3 years. I haven't ever had a chair last 3 years. So, Secret Lab, that's what they are. So I want to get another one for in here. And it doesn't even have to be a fancy one. The one in the house is an extra wide one, for fat asses like me. For this one here is a normal one. And it works just fine. So I was thinking I could save $100 by getting a normal Secret Lab chair. Because I paid extra for the wide one. But I like to get comfortable in the other one and, fold the leg under, whatever that. I can't do that in this. But I don't do that out here, so I figured, and I paid a little over $800 for the Secret Lab in the house. They're not cheap, but they're damn good chairs. So, if you're going through chairs left and right buying cheap ones, quit fucking around and buy a good one. I spent so much money on cheap chairs, I could have bought 2 Secret Lab chairs and, probably had some change left over. So, you gotta look at things sometimes. And something's cheap isn't always a good deal, Depending upon what I sit in this one a lot. And really, I need 2 chairs in there. I'd like to have one in the center when I'm actually playing with the trains, and then one here, and actually maybe a third one for the other room. Now, I'm not going to buy all Secret Lab chairs because, they're expensive. Ah, there he is, GRE 2057. Jesse, how you going? Listen, while I'm thinking about it, let's put the pictures up that you sent me for your custom-made telephone poles or light poles. Just been in and out this entire... Okay. Well, I'm going to put them up there. Yeah, Derek, it's a column. A bridge column for the sugar line. It's the last one for the second bridge. And then I've got to make new ones for the third bridge. The different heights on it because of the way the tables are set up. So anyway, without any further ado, let's do Jesse's here. Now this is a slideshow. I did slow it down enough so you could see them, briefly. Anyway, Jesse built these not too long ago. He sent me pictures and I kept telling him I was going to put them up and either I forgot or didn't have time. Well, I finally did it. So I think it's been like 3 weeks since he sent me the pictures. Here we go. Like I said, they're all custom made. And the insulator's on the top, which I thought was ingenious. He said he used the screws for Atlas turnout control switches, which had the little screws in there to fasten the wires to. Well, they look good. That's what he used for his insulators on top of the poles. I thought he did a nice job on them. They look good. They're functional. Good job, Jesse. So now at least I showed him this time. If you guys ever want me to show anything you're doing, send me pictures. I'll get them up on the show. And, give me a brief description or what's going on with them. I'll put them up for all to see. So other than that, let's see, what else are we doing here? Hey, Georgia Sunbelt. Anthony, how's it going, man? You'll have to watch the replay to see what kind of booty I got from the train show, Hobby Lobby, and a thrift store. We've been talking about trains this whole time, mostly. So, and some of my plans of what I'm doing, and finally got the chicken car working properly. There's so much going on right now, it's not funny. Or maybe it is. Oh, and I also I went down to Home Depot a few days ago. And the wife wanted to get something there. I can't remember what the hell it was now, but I said, I need to go anyway. So I bought a piece of board. I think it's oak. I'm not sure, but it was expensive as hell. It's a 1x6, I believe, or maybe 1x8. I'm not sure. It's more like a 1x6. 6 foot long. Shit was $4 a board foot. But I figured, I'm gonna swap out this tip up. I also bought hinges. They're cabinet hinges. The ones that are kind of hidden. I bought 2 of those. The little hinge on that side. And I told you that channel I was watching, Scott's Rails, he did it, and it looked good. Plus I had these, what the hell do I do with them anyway? Oh, these here. Ugh. I ordered these on Amazon, and they're centering devices. I showed them last week, and they'll be going on the other side, and these will also prove as a power point for the rails as well, so that when you pick up the thing, it cuts off power to this side of the layout. So I think we're gonna hit a winner with this one. I'm not sure what I'm gonna start with. I haven't even cut the board yet. I've got to get a measurement for this and take this apart. And the only reason we didn't run trains tonight was because I still have a section of track out there by the first bridge, which I had to take the turnout out because it would have been in the way of the short line. So I'm going to put a straight section in on the second main line instead of having it branch off into the sugar line, because that's what I was doing before. It started over here as a separate line, then joined the second main line all the way around about 3/4 of the way down here, and then it would branch off again through another turnout for a siding over here at the sugar factory, sugar plant. So I didn't want to share a track again, so I decided to put in a whole new short line assembly that's separate from the main. So I still got to put a piece of straight in for the second main line to make it operational. And now the outer main line is still operational, but I got shit everywhere, and I just figured, now we're not going to do it. So, like I said, I've been busy for a change of actually getting things accomplished. Not as fast as I'd like, but at least I'm making some progress, which is better than nothing. And like I said, now that I have all these toys to play with, like the cordless airbrush. This thing is really cool. Not really the one I wanted, but it will work. They make another one that they say is you don't have to clean it. And it's pretty slick. And I found one that was $50 on Amazon, but it's not powered. But it will screw on to this powered compressor. So basically, this is the compressor right here, and I think it puts out 48 psi get a button on. It works pretty good. And you screw the airbrush on the top of it. Like I said, this is a conventional airbrush. There you just screw it right on the top of it. And the self-cleaning one that I want to buy is the same deal. It'll screw right onto this compressor. And they've got, well, they have a number. They've got two different ones. They have the big reservoir, which is this one here, which I probably would never use. Then they have a small one here, which I don't know what that thing is in the middle there. I'll have to find out. That screws right in the top here. And it's two-stage, you know, you pull down for air, pull it back to spray. It's adjustable. So like I said, I'm going to be using this on the bridges I've already installed for the sugar line to weather them, you know, the rust down like the seams. So we'll see how that works. Of course, it comes with a charging cord, USB charging, and like I said, the extra reservoir. I think that's there. Oh, they also got a dropper. What the hell you use a dropper for? Probably for thinner. Now, most of the paints I have are pre-thinned, so like the rust I've got is pre-thinned, and I won't have to worry about thinning it down. So I can't wait to use it. It's going to be cool. Like I said, I am going to buy the other head, the brush itself, because they use it, and it uses a pin system, a needle, that's interchangeable. You can clean them, but it comes like, I think there's 10 each of different size pins, needles. And it basically uses the vacuum principle. So the head screws, like I said, screws onto the compressor. It pushes air up and sucks the paint out of the needle, and that's how you get your spray pattern. It seems like a really cool idea, so I'm probably going to look at buying one. And I like the trigger mechanism on it too. It's a lot easier to use. Jim, that has me thinking you need an interchange track for cars to and from the sugar plant. Well, actually I have one here. Well, yeah, I guess you'd call it more of a siding than anything else. Just 3 lanes. And then there's 2 lanes on the other side. Now I don't have, like I said, I'm not going to be touching any of the mains. That would have been too complicated to make them run because I'm going to automate the sugar line. It'll go back and forth on its own on a predetermined speed and amount of time that it will use. Same with the overhead rail. That'll also go back and forth station to station with the use of the motor man. So those 2 things will basically, I mean, they can be used manually, but mostly they'll be automated. I won't have to fool with them. It'll give me more time to do things with the 2 main lines, and then of course, when I get the helix built and put that in, then I can start utilizing the second level. And there are going to be a lot of switching operations probably going on up there. And it's set up for that already. So we should be okay all the ways around. Georgia Summer Anthony says, got one very similar from Amazon. Still in the box. Well, it ain't no good in the box, Anthony. And they're relative. The main thing with a regular airbrush is you got to clean them well. You know, run the paint out of it. I run alcohol, or you can use to actually make airbrush cleaner, which I think is basically alcohol. What I really liked was a pistol grip. And I don't know if I just didn't clean it right or what, but over time it just quit working. I tore it apart, inspected everything. It looks clean. I don't see any problems, but it simply doesn't spray anymore. So in the trash that one will be going. You lost me. We're in the green. You shouldn't have lost me. Of course, we've been having sketchy internet tonight too, but it seems to be in the green now, which is good. Where the hell? How could it be gone? We're in the green. I'm showing me on the monitor. Oh, I'm back now? Okay, that's cool. Like I said, this fucking internet, I'm telling you, Starlink is looking better every day. I don't like problems, and I don't know why Comcast can't get their shit together. I don't know why. You know, so if that's going to be a problem, then guess what? I'll go to Starlink. The only reason the only thing that's really kept me from going Starlink, and it's probably bullshit, MSN Now, or MS Now, whatever else it's called on the web, they claim that at some point in time, they're expecting some problems with all the satellites in orbit. It's probably bullshit. But I mean, Musk has already lost a few satellites from collisions, where they dropped out of orbit and burned up in the atmosphere. I'm not sure which. I know he's got a lot of them up there, but you know, that would suck if the one you're using is the one that crashes and burns. That kind of makes me a little nervous about, you know, going with that. See, we're back in the yellow now. Now we're back in the green. So, like I said, I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm on Wi-Fi now. So it isn't an Ethernet cable. It's them. And like I said, I'm just getting disgusted with it. But I think at some point I'm probably going to wind up going with Starlink anyway. Plus with Starlink, yeah, that's true, you do. Chuck said he lost me too. Well, it went to yellow for a second there, so it's possible. But I should be back. The satellites in my tray room are still in orbit. Yes, they are, Tom. Maybe they're Starlinks, right? I don't know. I read this shit. It's probably bullshit. There's so much bullshit news in everywhere now. But supposedly somebody said that in 5.5 days they're expecting most of the satellites to drop out of orbit from collision. And 90% of them are going to burn up in orbit. Well, I want to call bullshit on all that crap anyway, because one, they claim there's like 90,000 satellites in orbit around the Earth. I don't believe there's that many, for one. And if there was, when you look up at the sky at night, that's all you'd see is satellites. 90,000 of them. You know, that's a shitload of satellites. And of course they'd be slamming each other. How could you prevent it? You know. So I think probably they're full of shit. and maybe it's, maybe Comcast put out the rumor. Who the hell knows? I don't believe that's going to happen. So I may go ahead and try and get it for next month. I'm a little concerned about aiming it, though, because I have a lot of trees in my yard. And I can't afford to cut trees down, so I'm really going to have to make sure that I can get a good aim at it without trees in the way. It should be, because I guess it's more north. And in that corner of my property, there's not too many trees. There's a clear shot to the sky. Well, hopefully it should be okay to set it up. Tom says, Jim, I have one Starlink, one DirecTV, and other is dish now. You got 3 dishes? Oh, what the fuck? Jesse says, about ready to ditch DirecTV, Tom. Yeah, well, there's Dish Network and what's the other one? DirecTV. I mean, I've been told by a lot of people that have them that they don't work in inclement weather. If it rains out or snows or whatever, forget it, they don't work. Now, the Starlink does work because that thing is so slick. It has a built-in heaters in it, that will melt the snow if you're in a snow location, which we're not here. But it'll melt the snow to keep the signal clear. That's fucking smart. They said rain and stuff don't affect it at all. And I said Tom Kvichak from Tom's Training, he's got it. He's had it now, I think, for over a month. He has not had one single problem. And the beauty of it is, too, is all this is new stuff, so it's not worn out like, Comcast or anybody else. So I'm thinking that's probably going to be the best way to go. Derek said they snuck hundreds into Iran after the protest. I believe it. I believe that's true. And Derek wants to know, Tom, how is Starlink? Like I said, Tom Kvichak is having great luck with it. He's my friend and fellow train guy. He's about 5 miles away from me. And because he had nothing but problems with Comcast. And I hate to badmouth Comcast, but they're obviously not maintaining their stuff. All the money they get off of it, I pay ridiculous money. I'm paying almost $107 a month for Comcast, and I don't have the fastest they got. I got second to the fastest. The fastest I think is like $130, $140 a month. For that kind of money, there should be zero problems ever. It's like every time you turn around, the system goes down, it's flaky like it is tonight, we're back in the red again. For who knows how long, not back in the yellow. So, and now it's back in the green. If they're not going to maintain their stuff, then I'm not going to throw money at them. So that's what I'm saying. Starlink looks a lot better of a deal. And everything you can do with Comcast, you can do with Starlink. The speeds are comparable. I think Tom said it was 40 or 50 up, but only 300 down. But that's what I'm getting here on Wi-Fi. But at least it's consistent. It's a good signal. Just said, Jim, you have to aim the Starlink to the north. Yeah, I know. That's what I said. That's what Tom Kvichak told me. I said, well, north is that way for me, and I've got a pretty big clearing there at the corner of my house. He said it comes with, I think he said 300 foot of Ethernet cable. That's not because I got everything is on this side of the house, which is probably about 200 foot away from the other side. Big house, And so I could still stretch the cable around to where, my modem would be. I guess they use a modem of some sort. And I guess they got Wi-Fi as well, I would imagine. Because that's another thing. I do rely on Wi-Fi here because the main computer in the house is on Wi-Fi because I can't get a cable to it without stringing it all around doors and shit. I don't like that. So, and then of course my neighbor, or my tenant I should say, she has a direct connect to her TV, but her TV won't accept an Ethernet cable. So until she gets a new TV, she's relying on Wi-Fi as well. And of course the phones also use the Wi-Fi. So, Jesse said Starlink is Wi-Fi 6. Okay. Like I said, I'm not familiar with all of it yet. I will be. But for the moment, I don't. Yeah, well, I already told you the speed. About 320 down. And I believe it's 40 or 50 up. It's not crazy great, but it's more than enough. Because I'm only getting 40 up here. On a good day. And generally I get about 300 down on Wi-Fi. Now, if I'm running Ethernet, I'll get 900 to 1,000 down. Still only get 40 up though. So, and the download speed is fine when you're downloading shit. But on a live stream, it's your upload that you really need. And right now, there's just nothing fast than that available in the area. What does it cost? Well, the best plan they have is $120 a month. That's unlimited, so there's no caps on your bandwidth, which is great, because that would be an issue for me. And initially, I think you give them $20 to pay for the shipping of the equipment. That includes the dish, the modem, the cables, everything you need to get started for $20. And then, like, if you got the coupon, the first month is free. You know, then you pay $120 after that. Well, I'm paying $106 now. What's $120? You know. And if it works, then back in the red again. Yep, I can see I'm freezing up here on the monitor. And it's worth it to me to do it, you know. My wife thinks I'm crazy, but you know what? It's the way it is. All right, Andy, well, have a good night, man. Thanks for popping in, and get a good night's sleep, and we'll see you next week. Have a safe weekend as well. Derek says 40/30. It's $400 for the equipment, and then materials, another $100 to set it up, and $120 a month for the service. Well, with the coupon, I don't have to pay any of that. All I have to do is pay $20 for the shipping. The equipment is free, and you set it up yourself, and they give you all the stuff you need to set it up. I mean, use your phone, and you aim the phone. The phone will find a satellite and tell you how to aim the dish. Because like I said, Tom Kavicek just did his, and he said it took him a couple hours to, you know, get it set up and put it and everything else. So I figured, well, hell, I can do that. Yeah, I'll be getting it directly from Starlink. Tom Grassi says, I keep my fiber. Well, if you have fiber, you don't have any problems. But we're not going to get fiber here probably in the next 10 years. You know, the fiber stops at Tom Kavicek's. You know, the next door neighbor has it. He doesn't, because they stopped it right there. And they said they don't know when they're going to, you know, move it further to include Tom. But he says, fuck them, I can't wait, you know. And same here, I live out in the boonies, basically. They're not going to have fiber out here for, I'd say, at least 5 years. I can't wait that long. So for now, I'll go with Starlink, you know. And I tell you know, Musk, there's things I like about him and things I don't like, but what state am I in? Oh, state is Jesse in. Oh, he's in Michigan, okay. Yeah, he's got a phone now. It's called the Pi phone. And I don't think it's out yet, but it will be like in the coming months. And he's got a deal where if you're over 65, you pay initially for the phone. I think it's $200 or $300, and then you have you don't have free. You have free service for the next 10 years if you're over 65. Fuck, you can't go wrong with that. If that actually happens, I'm getting one. And he claims it's way better than anything that's on the market, and it utilizes Starlink as well, where our cell phones don't. We're relying on, you know, land-based cell towers. So he may be onto something. Another thing he's doing too, which I don't approve of, but it's kind of cool nevertheless. Here in Florida, our governor signed a law allowing self-driving cars. So what I understand is Musk has already created a new Y series that has no steering wheel, no pedals, is driverless, and they're going to work as taxis. And they'll get you around wherever you go. To be like, it's supposed to be a solution to Uber and Lyft, because they're having some problems with Uber drivers lately, and Lyft drivers as well. He says, well, we'll get rid of the drivers. We'll have autonomous vehicles will take you where you need to go. And if you buy one with the steering wheel and pedals that you use for your own use, you can also rent it out and get paid without actually having to drive it as an Uber, you know, as an Uber vehicle. It's a pretty slick idea. I don't trust them. It scares the shit out of me, you know, if there's cars out there that won't have a driver in them and I'm going to be sharing the road with them. And I don't care what they claim, what could go wrong. Well, you know, I'm still not convinced that these cars are 100% reliable. Well, must seem to think they are, so I don't know. But like I said, as far as the internet goes, like I said, we only have two choices here. We have Comcast, or we have the phone company. It was AT&T. Well, it's not AT&T. It's CenturyLink. We have CenturyLink. CenturyLink doesn't work up here. When I moved here 6 years ago, I went ahead and got CenturyLink because that's what I had back in Naples, and it was good down there. I got it up here. Had it for about 2 months. It might have worked 5 days out of those 2 months. They were constantly coming down. Well, this is wrong, or this is bad. We got to replace the wire. Well, shit, man, get your stuff together, you know. And everything here is underground, so it's more difficult to replace wires, you know. So the phone lines are actually underground here; they're not up on the pole. So I think they went through 3 pairs before they found one that worked. And he says, well, you know, we're basically taking another guy's pair. He doesn't have a phone in his house or internet, so we're going to use his so you can have internet. That's fine until he needs internet. What's he going to do? Well, that'll be his problem. I'm thinking that's not a good attitude to have, you know. So that was out of question. Then I went to Comcast immediately after, and up until recently they were doing good. But, you know, these outages are getting to be a pain in the ass. There's no excuse for it. So Starlink, it looks like, is what's going to happen. Yeah, I hear you, Derek. There ain't no fucking way I'm getting at one. I tell you that right now. Because I don't know if I could let a driver of this car. I would, and there's no steering wheel. There's no pedals. You're literally at the mercy of that car. If it fucks up, well, you're screwed. You know. I mean, at least have a backup system in there, you know, with a steering wheel and pedals, you know, even if they, like, fold under the dash until you need them or something. But to trust a machine to cart your ass around ain't happening. Not to this guy, anyway, you know. So, and like I said, I'm just that way. I just don't trust it. I'm looking at the instruction sheet for airbrush. I'll have to read that later. I don't know what it could tell me that I probably already know, but oh look. So, it also scares me because, you know, well, it wasn't Musk's car, but I think the Google cars, they had them out in California. Didn't that one woman get killed because the car thought she was a dog? And didn't think it was a problem to kill a dog, you know. But it wasn't a dog, it was a woman. And they've had a lot of problems here with wrecks and speeding and disobeying stop signs and shit. And that's all you need, right? Bad enough you got to worry about some jackass ain't paying attention or playing with his phone or whatever. Now you got to worry about a guy that's not even there. Reminds you of Knight Rider, you know. It's a man that isn't, or what, how did they put that? Oh shit, I can't remember now. Oh, the man that doesn't exist. The Knight Rider car, yeah. That's some fucked up shit, man. Derek says, I want manual override right in front of me, steering wheel and pedals, and my input as priority. Oh, absolutely. I'm the same way. I don't want none of that shit, you know. And I get off the subject of trains for a minute just because we can. I don't know if you guys, well, I don't know how many of you watch my, I don't think I did a Wise Guy video on it. I'm going to, though. I think tomorrow. The 2026 cars already have them. They're not active yet because they're waiting for the law to come in. But all 2026 vehicles, no matter where they're made or who they're made by, are set up to, with a kill switch they call it. So these cars are going to be watching you. Alright? They'll have cameras all over the place, watch facial recognition, they'll watch your movements, and they'll shut down if they don't agree with something you're doing. So if you're going down the road and you're like rubbernecking or whatever too much, you're not fit to drive. We're shut the car, and they shut the car down right there. The car does this, not somebody else. The car itself determines whether you're fit to drive or not. In some cases it might be good, but in more cases it wouldn't be, because you could be going down the interstate at 80 miles an hour and, you know, maybe you start dozing off, or maybe you're rubbernecking too much or yelling at your wife because she's being a bitch, you know. The car doesn't like what you're doing, figures you're a distracted driver. We're shutting the car off at 80 miles an hour down the interstate. Well, you're not going to have much control of it because, you know, when you shut the car off, you lose steering, you lose braking. That's going to kill people, man. And all the cars are going to have this tech installed in them. They already are. As of January 1st, 2026, the car makers were ordered to put this stuff in the cars. Now, it hasn't been activated yet because they're waiting on the government. I guess Congress has to rule on it, and they say that most of them probably will. To make this happen, you're going to be in a potential death trap. That's why I would never own a new car, you know. This is bullshit. And how is that any different from an autonomous vehicle? You're still relying on said car to cart your ass around and make decisions for you. I'm the fucking driver, and I'll determine whether I shut the car off or not, when, how, and where. And this one guy I was listening to is kind of a separate situation, but he started talking about it. He says, look, he says, I had a friend, and this was, well, he said, some of the tech's been in cars for a few years now. He didn't say what car it was, but he says, they live out in the Northwest somewhere, and it's a 12-mile drive from his work to his home. It's in the middle of winter, 2 o'clock in the morning. He's coming home from work, and he says everything goes crazy in the car. All the warning lights come on, and it's beeping and yelling at him and whatever, and on the screen it says, pull over immediately, there's potential fire hazard. So the guy kind of fricks, he pulls over, you know, shuts the car off, starts looking around to see what the hell is wrong. He can't find anything wrong with it. Well, what had happened was, well, before I go to that, so he decided he was going to walk the rest of the way home. It's 6 degrees above zero. He's not really dressed for it because, you know, he's got to eat in the car. He's not wearing his fur parka. But he figured, you know, you could die in the car or die going home. Hopefully he makes it. Well, fortunately, this guy that was telling the story happened to see him and picked him up and brought him home. But they found out the next day what happened with the car. Well, the car was receiving updates, you know, software updates from the factory. 2 of the updates went through, the third one didn't. So whoever was running, well, I think it's the computer itself, the computer determined that because the car couldn't take the third update, it would shut it down. And that's what caused everything to go haywire in the car. There's nothing wrong with the car. The guy had the car towed to the dealer the next day. They manually installed the third update, and it was fine. There wasn't no fire hazard or anything else. But the thing was, if you didn't turn the car off manually, he could have drove it all the way home. He just would have had to listen to all the bullshit. But, you know, he got scared and figured, well, shit, I don't want to die in a fucking flaming piece of shit car, you know. But see, this is older tech. Imagine the abuses they're going to have and the problems with it now that the car will determine whether you're fit to drive or not, you know. If you're driving erratically for whatever reason, you have to be. Let's say your wife is injured severely and you're trying to get her to a hospital. It's quicker for you to do it than to call an ambulance. So you're going down the road, you know, 100 fucking mile an hour, weaving in and out of traffic and shit to get her to the hospital to save her life. The car says, oh, no, you can't drive like that. Kill switch activated, now you're dead in the water, and she dies. I mean, this shit can happen, and it probably will happen. I don't know where the hell somebody got the idea that, oh, let's let the car take charge of the occupants inside, you know? It's bullshit. I know it's crazy, but it's true. This is 18-wheeler. Let me read the rest of this here. Now picture an 18-wheeler driverless that they are experimenting with in North Texas. 18-wheeler, you're kidding me, Chuck. I don't know, that didn't happen. If JD was here, he would confirm it. Yeah, John Dilly, I'll bet. Grandpa Rails. Derek says, that's crazy. And Chuck says, yes, I know. Derek says, I wonder what happens when the 18-wheeler glitches like Jim says. Jim says. Nice lawsuit, no wife. Win-win. But you love your wife, you know. I mean, if she was a nag, you'd probably let her die anyway, you know. I couldn't get her to the hospital quick enough, you know. But this is on the presumption that you do love your wife and she's a good woman and you don't want her to die. But yes, there would be a hell of a lot. I mean, you'd bankrupt the dealers, you know, the manufacturers under that. I mean, the point is, you don't need any of that shit. And they're young, and they're saying, well, we want to keep drunks off the road. Well, drunks will always find a way around it, you know. That's not going to work. You want to keep drunks off the road? You initiate a tough law. If you're drunk and you get in an accident and you hurt or kill somebody because of your, you know, drunkenness, you get the death penalty. And not 20 years down the road, tomorrow afternoon. You know, that's how you fix this. You're not going to fix it using technology because, once again, technology is not reliable. And it can't differentiate between certain things. So if you want to get serious about drunk driving, nail the drunk, you know. And how many drunks have, you know, killed people? Oh, well, we'll send them to prison for 10 years for, you know, what do they call it, vehicular manslaughter. Bullshit. You kill somebody, you fucking die. You get to join them. That's what needs to happen. And that's the only way you're going to stop this shit. You know. Then they know you're not fucking around. The first one that does it, you execute them and say, see, we weren't kidding. You killed somebody through your own stupidity, now you get to die. You get to join them. That's how you fix this shit. They won't do that, of course, because, you know, a bunch of pussies run this government. But that's what they need to do. So, I mean, I can't afford a new car anyway. That's not going to happen. You know, I'm driving an '04, and hopefully that's the last car I ever buy. You know? And if it does get totaled somehow and I survive it, I'll find another one, you know, just like it. Europe started next generation of trains with the, yeah, that's another problem too. Of course, a train is a little more understandable because, you know, it's on a track. But still, I like the human element behind anything with any kind of motion or power. I mean, they were one time talking about, you know, pilotless aircraft. And show me one asshole that'll get on an airplane with no pilot. Ain't gonna happen. Yeah. Tom says, Jim, in my book, murder is murder, not murder one. Murder two, murder. Exactly. I said the same thing, Tom. If somebody's dead, I don't give a fuck whether you planned it out, you did it by accident, or it was a passionate moment or whatever, and that person's still dead. You should join them. You know, end the subject. How hard is this? I said, you got murder one, murder two. I don't know if there's a murder three or not, but there's manslaughter. There's aggravated manslaughter. There's like probably 10 or 15 variations of murder. But at the end of the day, and I know people hate to hear that term, but true, at the end of the day, the guy that you murdered is still dead. You know, he's not almost murdered, he's murdered. You know, there's no almost murder. There's attempted murder where the guy might live, but murder is murder, the guy's dead. Doesn't matter how you got that way, you know. So, like I said, it is what it is, but they said our government's too much. They're pussies. They don't want to deal with anything, you know. And even people that are on death row are getting, you know. And there was one there. Was four guys robbed the parts house, auto parts house. Two of the guys actually, I don't know how they figured two of them did, but one or two of them killed the guy that I guess owned the place, to rob it. So all four should have got the death penalty because, they were all there. They were part of it. Well, one got the death penalty. The second one, he's waiting for the death penalty. And the third one is due for the death penalty, I think in a few weeks or next month. Now they're saying, well, he's innocent. We shouldn't take his life. He's not innocent. He was there. He was part of it. Doesn't matter whether he pulled the trigger or not. He was still there and was a part of it. Now, if one of them guys would have killed the cop, all four of them would be hanging right now. And I don't disagree with that. But why the disparity? Doesn't matter who you kill, whether it's an old lady, some young guy that's a cashier or owner of a business, or a cop. Those people are still dead. The penalty should be the same regardless. But, that's just my thinking. Let's see what we got going on here. The lawyers have made it that if you're drunk, you didn't do intentional murder because of your mental state from alcohol was impaired, so it's criminally negligent. I agree. Bullshit. That person's still dead. You made the obvious choice of drinking and getting drunk and then getting in your car. So yes, it is intentional. No matter how you look at it. If you hadn't got drunk or you hadn't decided to get in the car, those people would be alive right now. And that's bullshit, We don't take care of these problems and they repeat themselves. I was watching a YouTube video today and this woman, old woman, I think she's in her 60s, said 2 DUIs, 3 reckless drivings, and some other problems. Suspended license. Well, she tried to pass 15 cars, didn't quite make it. In a no passing zone, no less, double yellow line. 2 people are dead. Another 2 may die. They're in critical condition. And I think it was like 10 of the other cars with their occupants, they all got hurt pretty bad too. So what are they going to arrest her for? Vehicular homicide. Why is she not hanging? And this is in her first run. And then she says, well, it wasn't my fault. If the other guy in the front line hadn't, come at me head on, none of this would have happened. Well, it's his fucking lane, lady. If you hadn't have been there, passing a car near a curb in a no passing zone, you'd all be alive. And unhurt. I mean, if it were me, if it was my choice, I'd say, you know what, lady? Tomorrow morning we're going to build a gallows, we're going to hang your ass that afternoon. You took 2 lives, now you're going to lose your own. Am I being an asshole? I don't think so. But that's how crazy it's getting out there. Latest stats today was that people aren't drinking much anymore and are stoners instead. What's the difference? You're still impaired, excuse me. I don't care if you're drunk or fucking drugged out or whatever, stoned. If you can't drive, don't fucking drive. Hey, Grandpa. Oh, JD popped in there? Oh, hey, JD. How you doing? Good to see you. You're late. You'll have to watch You'll have to watch it over again because we had talked about a lot of good train stuff. And I got to show off all my train show booty. Anyway, glad to see you here, man. We were also talking about autonomous vehicles, and they were talking about 18-wheelers that are now driverless and how bad they can be. I mean, that's going to cost people their lives when they fuck up. I mean, are we so selfish with money that we can't afford to pay a driver to drive people around or drive cargo around anymore? The thing is, all this tech and driverless stuff, and the prices aren't coming down on any of the goods that they're supposedly, moving around. So if the Amazon truck is driverless, Shouldn't Amazon prices come down about 20%? You know, there's something wrong here. Hey, James, Dundas Junction Model Railroad. Good to see you, James. You missed all the fun, too. You'll have to watch the replay. Anyway, good to see you either way. How am I tonight? I'm doing good. So far. Oh, James, yeah, he's doing good too, probably. I can't see where it's the shit for some reason. I don't know if I got the monitor too far away or what. But these glasses aren't right either. I might have to get weaker ones. I think they're too strong. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, this is, I'm so sick of people doing shit, to save money. And that's what this is about. Think of the money we can save if we don't have to hire truck drivers anymore. Yeah, but think of the lives that'll be lost when your self-driving vehicles fuck up. And they will. Because we can't build anything that's reliable for any length of time. Apparently. A lot of that stuff uses cameras, like to stay in your lane, and which is fine. Assuming that the road lines are clear. Here in Sebring, you can't hardly see any of the lines on the road. They need to repaint everything, and they haven't done it. We have a parking lot in Winn-Dixie. There's a three-way stop at one part of it. You can't see it. I know it's there. You can barely see it. Most people don't even stop because they don't see it. And nobody's going to repaint it. I mean, I'd go out there and repaint it myself, but why would I spend the money? But so autonomous vehicles aren't going to work in that condition. I don't think. You have to have clear, consistent lines and lanes and everything else so that the autonomous car, through the use of its cameras and GPS, I'm sure as well, will be able to see everything. And there has to be redundancy, So not only has to be cameras, there has to be GPS, and there has to be probably even a third thing they haven't thought of, to make sure if the first two things screw up, you'll rely on the third. So, I don't know. This is probably the opposite, Jim. Amazon prices will increase. That I can believe. Well, we had to pay more money for the tech, so we're going to charge it to you. Motherfuckers. I'd probably do that, too. James says he went out to lunch and dinner and the DQ ice cream. All right, ice cream. Let me have some of that when I get out of here. I got ice cream, soft serve ice cream that I buy from Winn-Dixie. We buy the cones and stuff, and we have soft serve ice cream in the cones, and I'll tell you what, it's good. So, I don't know, like I said, I disagree with some of this technology. The more tech we get, the worse off we get, Too many mistakes, too many screw-ups, relying on something that's unreliable. And I don't know if any of it will ever be totally reliable. I don't see how it can be. Is that Derek? You see there? My car has lane keeping, and if you're driving and there's a pedestrian on the right, and you steer to the left to give room, the car tries to... Oh yeah, as I said, it is stupid, because it doesn't compensate for that. My ex-wife, her car has lane keeping and my auto braking, all kinds of crap. She bought a Nissan or a Toyota, I don't remember which. And she said it came with a book about this thick. You can disable some of those things, but it's like, you almost got to be a brain surgeon to do it, or a rocket scientist. It says, that stuff should really be off unless you turn it on, rather than being on and force you to turn it off. I mean, I wouldn't even have a car like that. I just won't do it, Because when it fucks up, and it will, and you won't be expecting it, it's like cars that, break on their own. If you come up on somebody too quick or not paying attention, you're going to rely on that one time and it ain't going to work, and you're going to slam in the fucker thinking, oh, that's right, the car will stop me. Oh, fuck that. I don't rely on any cars. I got a brake. I'm paying attention to begin with. I'll work the brake myself, thank you, Derek, $5 if you hit people. Try towing that to the car. There's a car doing it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can tell them that, but they ain't gonna believe it. It's the car's fault, man. And that's just it. You're still in the car even if you have no control over it. Like this driverless vehicles, no steering wheel, no brake. It fucks up, they'll probably blame you, the driver, I ain't the driver. The car's driving itself. Sue Musk. But I'm sure he'll be exempt from lawsuits, because they always exempt themselves in case shit goes wrong. And that needs to stop too. I don't know what they're going to... are we going to get to that point where literally humans will be useless? Where you won't have to do anything? You won't be allowed to do anything? Can't drive your car? Can't clean your own house? Can't cook your meals? It'll all be done for you? Like the Jetsons or something? It's like, nah. We'll die off as a species if that ever happens, I think. I like being able to have control over some of those things. And for those who abuse that control or just plain stupid, shouldn't be driving or whatever, you deal with them. You don't penalize everybody for the acts of a few, Of course, we saw that with the guns, too, Some nutcase goes off on a shooting rampage in a school. We gotta ban all the guns. Why? Well, because he did it. Y'all might do it. No. 110 million people, last count, I'm sure there's more than that, own guns. If we were going to do that, well, you'd all be dead already. You got one asshole, got his brains up his ass or something, whatever the problem is. Take care of it. Execute him. Not 20 years from now. If you got proof that he did it, and show us the bodies because we don't believe you otherwise, build a gallows the next week and hang the motherfucker. And televise it. And let everybody know this is what happens when you do something stupid. We kill you. How hard is this? Most of these assholes that do that shit know even if they get the death penalty, it's 20 or 30 years down the road. They'll be too old to give a damn by then. And some of them even think they'll even get away with it. I'm going to plead insanity. Well, we don't care if you're insane or not. You must be insane if you do shit like that anyway. How is that a valid strategy for avoiding the hanging rope? I don't care whether you're nuts or not. You still did it. Now you die. Because we can't fix you either way. So we have to kill you. That's what I'm saying. It's just... I get so aggravated with the way we do shit in this country, We could fix 90% of the problems if we just got tough with it. Yeah, I'm back in the red again. Probably locked up. Yep, a little bit. Come on, great. There we go. Now we're back on the green. Fucking internet. Derek wants to know, James, chocolate or vanilla ice cream? Hey, some days I like chocolate, some days I like vanilla. I don't really do the odd stuff, though, Wife got this strawberry swirl or something the other day. I'm going, that doesn't even look appetizing. I'm damn sure I can eat it. But that's me, Anyway, guys, it's 8 o'clock, so I think I'm going to run out the clock here and call it a night, especially since the internet's fucking up royal. Now it's in the yellow again. It was in the red a minute ago. What the hell's wrong with these idiots? Anyway, thanks for popping in and sharing in my fun. And we'll see you next week. So here's the outro coming up right now. And remember to always have fun, play with your trains, and be safe.